everyone, this is Andy Mello from Mello Fab. A customer just recently brought me a 2022 Yamaha Viking. Very few miles and hours, and he wants me to just put a lot of accessories on it for him. A couple of them being my cooling fan system and my brake system, but we're going to do light bars and winch and switch panel. So we're going to do some individual videos and break
on this new Viking. This customer wanted a Team Concourse switch panel installed, really nice, good quality, 6 rocker switches. I just laid it up on the dash. I removed the warning sticker, traced the holes out, and I chose to drill the dash and put in some nut certs so I can remove this panel as many times as need be and not have to worry about stripping the plastic. I went just a little bit bigger. I went up to 8/32. That's not necessary, but I just chose to. And in cutting the dash, an easy way to do that is when your panel's in place, just trace through these rocker holes with a marker, and then when you remove it, you'll have obviously your 6 holes. And then I just took a jigsaw and went above my marks and went all the way around. Got a nice good cut. And on this corner I chose to use a different tool because there is some metal right here, and I didn't want to jam my tool up and maybe jerk on the dash a little, but that makes for a nice good cut. Okay, now we got the rocker panel. I've got it assembled and wired. I've got all my switches popped in, and I went a little overkill, but I'm pretty particular about my wiring. I've got all my jumpers hooked in here on all my switches, tying some hots and grounds together. I'm going to use some weather pack connectors to make it easy to remove the panel if I ever have to do any work on anything. Got these tied together. The only thing that's different is my winch switch, the type of connector it's got, but it can be removed from the switch. So this is just going to make, I've got ignition hots and grounds tied together here, so the switches will be lit up only with the key on. I'm going to power a relay with my stereo here to power the stereo up. And then these, I'm triggering some relays to work with the lights as well. So pretty simple setup. I just like to tidy things up real good, and that way you know wiring is not your issue once you do your install, if you ever have any problems. Now I've got the panel all the way wired up, even the circuits going out. All of the parts that were brought to me on this machine, there was no fuse panel, so we went with some fuse holders, which serves the same purpose, and I wanted to show the method of doing this. You know, everybody uses a fuse panel, which is very nice, but you can do the other method, fuse holder route or link, whichever way you want to go, and still make it nice and neat. I've got some waterproof fuse holders here, was the route selected. Got my connections in the back where I can unplug everything and get this panel out. Got a relay that's ignition hot that's going to feed all 3 of these light switches, and then they will individually be able to control their own circuit, and they're fused individually for their appropriate gauge wire and load carrying capability. So this is the wrap up of this, and we'll put it in the dash and show it finished up with some nice black matching fasteners. When I was showing the rocker panel assembled, some of you might have questions of what are the wires going to and where are they coming from. This is a standard, it's from Nylite, 5-prong rocker switch. That's labeled interior lights. You could feed whatever you wanted to. But it comes with these jumper wires, really nice jumpers. The top 2 poles, it has you tie them together with a jumper, and then you're going to ground this wire. In this bottom section here, you've got 3 pins, 1 offset. I like to wire them. Obviously, I don't want the light to stay on to run the battery down. So your hot leg here, run it to an ignition source, ignition hot, and then this will be power out when you actuate the switch. And then you could have that energize a relay, which is a popular way to do it, and then the relay would feed your load. If you're running very low amp circuits, I mean, this switch is actually rated for 20 amps, 12 volts, so it could handle a big load. But on most machines, your accessory circuit is 7 to 10 amps. Some of them are a little bit more. So if you wired up 2 or 3 of these on the ignition source and had everything on at once, you could pop your fuse. So feeding a relay off of this pole is a very good, safe way to do it. Got it all finished up, buttoned up in the dash. Some nice black screws. Turned out to be an awesome finish. Turn the light off so you can see the switch lights. The winch was a green, that's what come with the winch, but everything looks slick, all ignition powered. You see the actuators will light up when you apply voltage to each circuit. Nice finished product.